Hi everyone, I'm Sweet Melba. Well, it's nothing in the robe today, so I had some early morning meetings, so it's tea at noon. So, thanks for joining me. This is Melba's Gone Rogue, and channel is focused on me being a new YouTuber content creator of the AKA Sweet Melba channel. So that is the main channel that we talk about on this channel. This is just all the analytics and goals, objectives, just discussion on what seems to be working, what's not working, things of that nature. So that's what this channel is all about. So we're just kind of reviewing the analytics and talking about what the accomplishments were the previous week, what are the new goals, objectives going forward for the new week, and just kind of assessing how it's going. So again, thanks for joining me, and we'll get started with the analytics for last week, which was week 9 of the AKA Sweet Melba um, channel, which again is the main channel. So classes. Okay, so week 9. So no subscriber change, still 6 subscribers. Um, Total videos as of 9 weeks is 9 videos and 13 shorts. So there was 1 new video and 1 new short last week on the main channel. There's a total of 20.70 hours of watch time and a total of 1,308 views. So last week had a total of 108 views, which is not very good, very low, and a total for 1.7 hours. So I'll get into that here in a minute. Number of impressions so far as of 9 weeks is 3,155. The average click-through rate is 2.8%, and the average view duration is 7 minutes, 19 seconds, which is probably about mid 30% range on the average view duration for all of those videos. So specifically week 9. So again, 1 new video, 1 new short on the main channel. So interesting. This was a 2-part video, and the first part was on week 8. Second part was on week 9. So this video was um, looking back on living alone versus being married, and just looking at those life lessons and components of all a life well lived, because that's what the focus is of the main channel, is looking back, being reflective as we get older, looking back on our experiences, activities, what we've learned along the way. So that was the specific for that 2-part video. So part 2 came out in week 9. So the part 2 was focused on being married, benefits, challenges. Part 1 was focused on living alone, again, benefits, challenges. So the living alone was a lot more popular than the marriage. So that's interesting. Anyway, so number of views in week 9 was only 7, so really low. And this is just on the videos. And compared to 38 the week before. The number of impressions that YouTube putting it out there was only 136. And the number of impressions for part 1, the living alone, was 2,100 impressions. So the viewers, the audience, the algorithm, YouTube just was not putting out this second video. So interesting. The click-through rate for part 2 was 4.4%. Part 1 was 1.5%. The average view duration, much longer on this one, was just shy of 8 minutes. And the average view last week for part 1 was 3 minutes. For the shorts, and the shorts that I usually do 1 short. Sometimes I do 2. I just do 1 to promote that video. So the shorts for this week 9 was 77 views, and compared to 74 on the shorts for the first part. The engaged views were 32 compared to 23 the week before, and 2 likes and compared to 5 likes the week before. So again, it just seems that living alone is more popular topic than marriage. So that's the stats for week 9 compared to week 8. So again, views were down. The click-through rate was a little bit better, but YouTube just wasn't putting out the content. If impressions were only 136 compared to 2,100 the week before. So the average view duration was higher, almost 8 minutes compared to 3 minutes. So, yeah. So anyway, so I'm thinking it's the topic, right? So more people interested in living alone than the marriage component. So that's my take on that. Because the video was identical. There was no style difference. Thumbnails were different. Title wasn't very different at all. So I just kind of tried to stick with that with the marriage part added in. So anyway, so I just think it's probably the topic in general. Just a apples to apples comparison. So activities during week 9, again, as I mentioned, I wanted to do one video and one short. I had talked about doing a live video. And the more I thought about that, the more I didn't want to do that yet. I wanted that part 2 video to just stand on its own. If I had done a live video in addition to that, so it would have been 2 uh, main content items for week 9. I think it would have taken away from the part 2 video, which actually in retrospect now might not have been a bad approach since part 2 didn't get that much of a response. But anyways, I decided to hold off on the live and just let that, part 2 video move on its own. I am going to revisit the live component. I might wait a little bit longer. I don't think this next video will go live because I don't have the minimum 50 subscribers on that channel, on the AKA Sweet Melba channel. I got to do everything from my laptop, which is going to be a little more logistically challenged since I do all my filming outside, on my porch, in my rocking chair. So that's my location for those videos. So I just think I'm going to hold off a little bit on the live on that and kind of wait, hopefully, get some more subscribers and then revisit that. So anyway, so that's on the back burner for now. I did continue to do some cross promotion on the Facebook for AKA Sweet Melba as well as the Instagram. So I did one post each on those. And it was a reel on Facebook. It was 29 views over there. And on Instagram, the reel over there was 32 views. And that was of the living alone content is what's over there. I'm always a week behind over there, trying to let the YouTube piece kind of flow on its own by itself and then pick up that following week with a Facebook or Instagram post. So that's kind of been my approach on that. So anyway, so those are the analytics. So as I always do, I always invite comments from folks. If you have some insight, similar challenges you've run into as a new YouTube person on the number of views and whatnot. So the other component I wanted to look at, for discussion was looking at those average view durations. And my videos range from 12 minutes to 43 minutes. So I've got one at 12, one at 16, one at 14, 19, 20 minutes, then a 30, 38 minute, and a 43. So those are the lengths of the videos on the AKA Sweet Melba. And the average view duration on that is ranging from the mid 20% to a high of 56%. So certainly not where you see a recommended, considered good view duration of the 50 to 70%. The one that was 56% only got 5 views on that video anyway. The one with the most views at 35 had a 24% average view duration. The next most watched video had a 26% view duration and then a 43%. So I'm going to look at, with this next video I'm doing, I'm going to kind of frame my layout on the video a little bit differently and see if that makes it a little more engaging for folks. I really would like the content on the A.K.A. Melba to start to build a community where people are sharing their life lessons as well as brief stories that they can put in a comment that pertain to the topic at hand. So I'm going to kind of frame my videos, start framing them a little bit differently to try and bring in that engagement. So possibly that will help with some of that average view duration as well, and see if that improves any. Continuing to work on my titles and the thumbnails. I'm kind of just going with my standard thumbnail layout that I like. I've seen a couple that I like that I might play with a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to do that for next week. Who knows? We'll see. It's a little bit different, less of a solid background color and more of a photo component. I always have my photo in my thumbnails along with the title, but I have kind of a main look to how my thumbnails are, so I may play with that a little bit. Still working on trying to make my titles engaging in terms of curiosity and whatnot, things of that nature. And then I mentioned that my average click-through is 2.8%, so still in that low range. Again, that's title and thumbnail, right? So again, I'm always continuing to work on that. And this last video, even though it didn't get a lot of views, it had a click-through rate of 4.4%. So anyway, so still work to be done over there on trying to improve that. And also looking at maybe cutting down the length of time on the videos too, that may help some with those average view durations possibly as well. If they're, keeping around, the 20-minute mark, kind of in that range. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So those are kind of my thoughts. So goals for next week, week 10, again, one video on the main channel, at least one short, maybe two, if I can find some, some good clips from that. Changing up my format in the video and trying to make it a little more engaging, inviting comment, participation in that sense. So I'm going to work on that, trying to include that in this new video coming out. And this new video coming out for week 10 will be really trying to call attention to the audience that I want to be talking to. So I've kind of decided I'm going to focus on that 50-something Gen X audience specifically. So I'm going to kind of, really focus on that in this next video. So a few things to look at in this next video coming up. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So again, I always invite people to, chime in the comments. I would appreciate people getting involved. And, I know there's lots of us out there that are doing the new YouTube thing, trying to find our spot, our rhythm, so to speak, what's working, and learning along the way. So I wish everybody the best if you're on the journey as well. I appreciate you tuning in, and I will look forward to seeing you on week 10. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, which is Melba's Gone Rogue. So thanks so much. And if you're curious and don't know what the Rogue is, go back and look at some of the other videos. You'll find out very quickly. Also on the shorts too. I have a short that sums that up. So if you're not familiar with that, I invite you to watch some of those. So thanks again. If you liked today's video, thumbs up. Again, I invite you to subscribe, and I will see you next week. So everybody have a good week. Good luck on all your efforts if you're new to this, and we'll chat next week. Thanks so much. I'm Sweet Melba. Bye-bye.